Hello, hello. So today I am going to be talking about the power of the mind and the law of mentalism. So, in esoteric knowledge or occult knowledge, spiritual knowledge, there are 7 spiritual laws or hermetic principles, they're also known as. And the first law above all laws of the universe is the law of the mind, the law of mentalism. So when we desire something, or when we have something appear in our reality, it has come from our thoughts, consciously or unconsciously. And sometimes when we have things appear in our reality that we don't desire, that has come from old beliefs, old patterns, and they are rooted in the subconscious that we haven't brought our awareness to. So, to truly manifest your reality and your desires, you must, and I'm not going to say you must actually, because sometimes we still have blockages and limiting beliefs and still manage to manifest certain things into our reality. But to have more leverage and power over your manifestations and your desires coming into fruition and into physical reality is by acknowledging what thoughts are blocking the thoughts you want to manifest. All is the mind. Everything that comes into this reality, whether it's a word, whether it's a number, whether it's an idea, whether it's a philosophy, whether it's a physical, tangible object, all first came from the mind. So, going back to mental blockages and limiting beliefs, if you, let's say, for example, were told as a child, stop asking for something, unconsciously, unless you've brought your awareness to this, has become a block and a mental and physical block to your desire. So, how do we change this? The way we change this is by asking the right questions. And when we ask the right questions, we can find the root of where these beliefs come from. And the way to truly get change is just from awareness. Once you're actually aware of where this come from and you can reframe that as that is not true, you can then not have this resistance and friction towards your desire. So, let's say, for example, a parent, a guardian, or friend, or teacher, or someone laughed at you when you were growing up. So, someone doesn't have to directly say to you, you're not good enough. It can be interpreted in other ways as well. So, this is why it's really good to ask questions on where these things came from. It could be something as someone laughing at you. And then as you go through life, you then look at yourself as if I am not good enough. And it has come from either words or it has come from an experience. So acknowledging and bringing your awareness to this memory and this experience or words that were spoken to you in that memory allows you to move forward from that, because then you have consciously remembered and you can reframe that. I'm not that person anymore, and I actually am good enough. There's nothing funny about my work, my creativity, whatever it is that you were laughed at for, or in this present tense, what you are attempting to manifest. You can say, I can do this. And at first, it might seem a little bit irrational because the conscious mind will say, but you can't actually do that. You don't have the skills, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have this, you don't have that. So, how to break free from that is repetition. Repeat, repeat, repeat. So, consistently and constantly telling yourself something, your subconscious mind will start to find these things in your reality, or it's also known as the RAS, the reticular activating system. So you may have heard of this term before. If you're thinking about a red car, suddenly you see many red cars driving past you. The RAS system works in the exact same way when you are trying to manifest your desires. So, the more you repeat something, the more your RAS will find in your environment things to align with that phrase or that affirmation that you have been repeatedly repeating. So, say for example, you're wanting to change career, you're wanting to move to a different place. Remember the law of mentalism, all is the mind. It begins with your thought process. So, if you want to change career, if you desire a career change, you would say, I am, and whatever it is you desire to become. If you want to be a writer, if you want to be a singer, you would say, I am a writer. I am a speaker. I am a singer. And at first, it might feel uncomfortable or strange. But the more you start to say this repeatedly, the more that your thoughts will align with a physical response in projected out into this physical reality. And another key point is the second law, which is the law of vibration. The law of vibration is important because sometimes people get the luck of the draw and they still manage to manifest things when they aren't in the specific vibration of what they desire to receive. But to guarantee a more likely chance of your desire, you would be in that frequency of certainty and conviction. So you wouldn't say, yeah, I'm a writer. You'd say, yes, I am a writer. You would say this with such confidence and such certainty that your reality has no choice but to align with those thoughts and that frequency. And this is why it is really important as to what we are inviting into our reality through our thoughts and how we're responding to others with our thoughts. So sometimes we experience certain situations and we don't respond to a situation or person verbally and directly, but we do to ourselves. So if we respond to that situation in our own minds, we are actually creating a reality in our minds and in our thoughts in correspondence to what we've just experienced. So it kind of goes with the, that term ignorance is bliss. I'm not saying to be ignorant is to be blissful. Maybe it is. But once you are conscious of something, it requires you to be more mindful of your thoughts towards yourself, towards others, towards your experiences. So so yeah, like let's say, for example, let's use this as an example. Someone says, if someone says something really negative towards themselves on a consistent and daily basis, such as, I really hate my life, like nothing ever works out for me, it's just my luck, they are vibrating on a frequency of expecting bad things to happen to them. Whereas if you tell yourself, really good things are always happening for me, really, really amazing things. And sometimes it might not be extravagant things, but the simple fact that you made it home alive was a really good effing day. And sometimes we seem to forget those things, that if we're healthy, we made it home alive, that is a good day. And anything that happens above that is a bonus, extravagant. But the more we affirm today's a really good day and affirm what we desire to see in our reality, sooner or later that will show up in your reality, because the all is the mind, the law of mentalism. So the more you focus and concentrate your thoughts on your desires and what you want and desire to come out and be projected into your reality, it will happen sooner or later with consistent repetition. It's kind of like wanting to watch a certain movie, and I know we don't use DVD players anymore, but I'm being a bit old school right now. From what I'm visualizing as an example, is that if we wanted to watch a certain movie, we would pick the movie and then we would put that disc in, and then it would be projected onto the TV screen. And that is the same with our desires. We pick the desire, and then our reticular activating system will project that somewhere out into our reality. I hope this helps someone. I am going to be delving a lot more deeper into this topic soon. But I hope what I have shared on this video today has helped someone.